Okay, what you saying, people, and welcome back to my channel. Now, make sure you check out my Telegram channel, left a link to that in the live chat below. Got different training setups there throughout the week, and make sure you go and check that out. But like usual, another live stream today. Going to talk you through what's happening in the charts today and see if we've got any opportunities coming our way. Yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at GPNZD. And hello Rex, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Okay, so GPNZD, for this pair, we've had a move to the downside quite early on this week. Again, if you haven't checked out my weekly analysis, make sure you go check that out, because we did expect to see a move to the downside this week for GPNZD. On the daily chart, we did have this area of resistance, which we did have a false breakout of last week, or actually maybe the week before. So as you can see there, nice false breakout. We've come back to retest it last week, so we were expecting to see some continuations to the downside this week for GPNZD, and as you can see, we're already getting that. We've already broken through this previous low, so GPNZD, I'm seeing more downside for this pair. I think we are coming into a daily trend line, so we might be seeing a bit of retracement coming up soon. So if I connect these major lows here, so again 1, 2, 3, so yeah, I still see some more downside for GPNZD, looking at the around about 1.95 area, so around this area here, for price to basically come back down into support, test that trend line, break through it if it wants to break through it, or bounce if it wants to bounce. But that's what I'm expecting this bearish move to get to. If it breaks through, again, it can go a lot further, maybe even come back to, you know, areas of support like so, or even down here. Or again, this is from a daily point of view. I'll go into the lower time frames in a second, but GPNZD is looking very, very bearish right now. It seems like we're having some NZD strength coming into the market. So yeah, more downside back to 1.95, and maybe even further if we can get a break of that trend line. 4-hour time frame, again, nice conviction to the downside, started overnight for me there, and now it's continuing to the downside now. So we might be seeing a bit of a pullback. We do have nice area of support here in the market, as you can see, support, support, support. So maybe you can get a bit of a retracement, some nice wick rejections around here. Then we could look to go and test that trend line around the 1.95 area. Again, it might not be on 1.95 on the dot exactly, but I reckon generally around that area, price might come and meet and have contact with the trend line. So more downside for GPNZD right now. Right now it's looking very, very bearish. So again, would not want to be looking for sales right now here. The Forex time frame, definitely wait for a bit of retracement. 1.96 was acting an area of support, now will be resistance. So if you can get a bit of retracement back into that area of resistance there, so you can get some rejections, nice change of momentum, and then some sales back to that trend line there on the daily. So more downside for GPNZD is all I'm seeing right now. EUGU, sure thing, we'll take a look at them now. So Euro USD looking bearish again. Had a really nice 4-hour close there, which is just gone by right now. Again, this was our previous high in the market. So if you look at the structure, we've had a push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, push. So the market's come back to meet that same area where we had that previous pullback into, so that prior resistance in that bearish structure. We wicked above it there, so a bit of manipulation, and then we closed to the downside very bearish. So you can tell that the market has just grabbed some liquidity and then dumped to the downside. So Euro USD is looking very bearish right now, so I'm actually expecting it to come back into these lows here and maybe even past that 1.18 area, because again we do have all that bearish momentum on the daily that looks like it's still playing out from this big move here, bit of retracement, and now we're getting the follow through to the downside. So Euro USD, I'm saying more sales, more downside for Euro USD back into these lows here around the 1.18 area, and we're probably likely to see new lows there as well, just because the market is quite bearish all the way up to the weekly time frame, back down to the hourly 30 minutes. So the momentum is definitely to the downside for Euro USD. Very strong candle closure there. Again, for opportunities, because this did quite sell off quite aggressively, so if you didn't catch it, probably missed the move. So again, a bit of retracement to the upside if it can happen, even though right now it's looking very bearish, you might not even get it, could just fall to the downside anyway. But if it does happen, a bit of retracement back to the previous support will be term resistance. So this area here, that would be great. So you can reject that area and then get some shorts in back to those lows, and then we can target probably that 1.18 area or maybe even further. But Euro USD is looking really bearish right now, and I'm thinking more downside for this pair. It might not retrace, it might do, but if it does retrace, opportunities can form. If it doesn't, this one looks like it's already sold off here for Euro USD, and we might be missing that move. But yeah, more downside back to lows and probably some new lows there as well. Pound USD, probably same thing. Yeah, we did see a nice dump to the downside there this morning. 4H not as clean as Euro USD, but we're still seeing that conviction to the downside. Again, if I just draw in my daily levels here, because we do have key areas of support and resistance here for GPUSD, so that 1.38 area, 1.4 up there, and sort of just below 1.37 down here. So we had a bit of a false breakout last week. Had a nice close down Thursday, I believe, then Friday took us back above that area. I think that was NFP that took us back above that area. But right now, again, like I said, my weekly analysis was still bearish here for GPUSD. The market here does look quite bearish, and it looks like DXY still has room to the upside, so we still should be seeing some DXY strength coming to the markets, unless something changes. But for now, it does look like we'll still see some DXY strength, so that should potentially send GPUSD back to the downside. It looks like we'll come back to test this area here in the market for GPUSD. Kind of some local area of support and resistance, nice push up, and now we're coming to test that as a resistance. So this area looks like it's holding, slight close above it, but we close straight back below, so still treating that as the market holding that area of resistance, and we're seeing some conviction to the downside. So GPUSD, similar to Euro USD, expectations for price to move lower. Right now, probably want GPUSD to retrace a little bit, maybe come back, break the trend line, come back down. Then first targets will be that 1.38 support, and then if we can break that all the way back down to these lows here, and then all the way down to 1.37. But again, probably need a lot more development for that to happen. But right now, GPUSD, we're seeing that conviction to the downside. So like I said, a bit of retracement to the upside. We haven't broken that trend line yet that I just drew there, because for connecting these 2 points. This candle is still open, so I'm not going to treat that as a breakout yet. We still need that candle to close below to have that breakout. It can still pull back up, it can keep going. We'll judge that when we get that candle closure, but if it does pull back up, then I'm expecting to see some upside for GPUSD back into this resistance here, maybe reject it after the false breakout. Then if we can get some nice strong candle closures, maybe breaking through that trend line, retesting it, great areas to get involved. And again, targeting that support down there, and then the support all the way down there. But yeah, GPUSD biases to the downside. So far it's holding that area of support resistance here, and I think we'll get that move to the downside, and that's probably around about maybe 50% of that move as well. So we get fib, actually 0.681. So we kind of push back to a nice area where you do expect the market to retrace to and then continue to the downside. So yeah, GBUSD more downside, EURUSD more downside. EURUSD slightly more cleaner, but we might not get a pullback. GBUSD, we might get that pullback, so entries might be much better there for GBUSD. USD CAD, we'll take a look at that now. Again, USD CAD biases to the upside for this pair. Again, on the daily time frame, we've had this nice big bull run to the upside. Bit of choppiness in the price action here, but I think this is just just a bit of noise, and we're going to see some conviction to the upside. I don't know how far, but I think we can revisit these highs back up there around the 1.24800 mark. Back on the 4H, it looks like we're finding support here in the market. So we've come back to this area again here. We're going up 1 hour, probably be a little bit clearer. So you can see on the hourly time frame, we've tested once, nice bullish reaction, back at it again, very strong bullish reaction. So it's telling me that the market is struggling to break through this area. So if that does hold, I'm seeing a bit of retracement eventually, maybe at this resistance here. Get involved maybe on the lower time frames, or wait for an hourly closure, and then I think we can be pushing back up to these highs here, around the 1.24500 area, and then we can push past that 1.24800. So more upside for USD CAD. Again, like I said, DXY looks like it's having a bit of strength in the market. So if DXY does keep up that price action, then USD CAD should be following to the upside with it, with the DXY. So yeah, looking very bullish now. Very strong reaction from that support. Maybe potential double bottom there. We're coming back into this resistance here. If I take that across, it was prior support there as well. So a bit of a key level. Expecting a bit of retracement from it. Maybe move back down into this area here. And if you can reject it quite nicely, some nice long opportunities forming. But yeah, my bias is to the upside for USD CAD. First target's up there, second target's that daily resistance around 1.24800. Hey William, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Hope you all had a good weekend, to be fair. Hope you all had a good weekend. Yeah, news came in. I mean, news was actually not bad for me because I was in EURUSD shorts throughout the most of the week, and then I actually exited before the news. So yeah, the news didn't really affect me, but I think it did push EURUSD up, if I do remember correctly. So yeah, news did push EURUSD up, but I already exited before that because it already hit my target. So I was like, there's no need for me to stay in this for NFP. Even though I was hoping NFP might take it further in my direction, I just go out the trade anyway. Yeah, EURUSD currently is kicking off to the downside, so I'm not sure if we get retracement on that, but yeah, it does look like we're going to get some new lows there for EURUSD soon. I mean, yeah, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how many trades you win or lose, as long as your winners are slightly bigger than your losers, and you should be good in the long run. So no, it doesn't matter too much if you took the loss or if you took the wins, as long as you can get your profits as bigger than your losses, then you should be good. Yeah, I wasn't too sure about the news. I mean, I was almost gonna hold it, but I was like, nah, there's no point. ADCHF, I assume that is to go long. Okay, that is a big candle there on the daily so far. Well, ADCHF is definitely, well, actually not definitely, could still pull back, but as of yet, it looks like it's breaking through that resistance there on the daily chart. And I think if we get a daily closure from that, because again, long-term bias, because you are trading the daily time frame, long-term bias, if you take a look at the weekly, it's still pretty much to the upside. So this price action here looks to me as just, the market's come up, it's pulled back, and I do expect to see more continuation to the upside. So this looks like it's starting to bottom out here. It's starting to form a little bit of a ball shape there. So gone from lower lows and now forming higher lows there on the daily. So yeah, it does look like it's bottoming out, ADCHF. And if it does happen, then I do see ADCHF pushing back all the way to these highs up there. Again, that's probably a bit of a aggressive target, but I do see some upside for ADCHF, to be fair. Yeah, exactly. So obviously news has had an impact, but sometimes you do see news actually set the direction for some currency pairs for a good amount of time. Sometimes news comes in, switches direction, and then you see the market move there for a good few weeks or so. So sometimes news could be a bit of manipulation, but then other times it can set the direction. I think this one is setting the direction, to be fair, because it needed that kick to move in that direction. But of course, it could obviously be a bit of manipulation and the market comes back down. But my bias is for ADCHF eventually to turn bullish and fill in that gap, this big range to those highs up there. And I think that news has given it the kick it needs to, break that resistance and now continue to the upside. But of course, if you're not feeling confident about it, then maybe you shouldn't take it. Maybe that's your intuition saying don't take the trade. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of strength there. AD-CAD as well, another one that's been falling to the downside for quite some time, and now we're starting to see some AD strength come to the markets. Is it time for this pair to start pushing to the upside finally? It could be. Looking at that on the weekly, we're coming into this weekly area of support. You can see we're losing all that momentum of all those wicks. So yeah, we could be pushing to the upside. Again, I'm not going to call it just yet. ADCHF looks a little bit clearer because we're breaking a clear level of resistance if we do get that daily close above it. Whereas AD-CAD is now pushing into some resistance here. I think we've probably broken through a bit of a trend line here. So that could be a bit of technical analysis that does point AD-CAD to the upside, and the fact that we're holding at this area of support as well, so finding a bit of a bottom. So yeah, AD-CAD does look like it's got some potential upside there, and if it does play out, we could see the price go a lot higher. And again, because I know a lot of people watching this live stream do trade in the small time frame, so that just means that we can look to ride those moves to the upside on the pullbacks and just continue to ride that to the upside. But again, for Willie, I'll probably say ADCHF looks a little bit clearer than AD-CAD, but I think they'll probably move in the same direction anyway. If ADCHF starts to make some higher highs and continue in a bullish trend, then I think AD-CAD will follow as well. Yeah, AD and NZD do kind of do the same thing. Like if you look at AD and NZD, which is kind of the two pairs put together, or it is those two pairs put together, you can see the market is really choppy, and it's because AD and NZD, the strength of them, those two pairs are quite similar. Not all the time, but most of the time they are quite similar, hence why the market gives us so many wicks, so many consolidation and choppiness. So normally when you do see some strength in the AUD, eventually the NZD will follow, and vice versa as well. So yeah, like NZD, we're seeing some strength in the NZD USD there, NZD-CHF pushing up. So yeah, normally we do see that correlation coming to the markets for AD and NZD. So that's why when I'm trading AUD, I just leave NZD alone, because normally if I take a trade in AUD and NZD and one fails, they both fail, or if one succeeds, they normally both succeed. So I essentially just pick the best one out of the two, and you can see the price action here for NZD CHF on the daily is quite similar to AD CHF on the daily as well. I know they both got CHF, but AD and NZD are quite similar. Hello David, how are you doing? Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you're all doing well, and I hope you all had a good weekend. Yeah, Euro USD and GP USD waiting for those pullbacks to the upside, and then we'll look to short. So if I go back there for GP USD looking bearish. Looks like potentially might break for the trend line. Still got about half an hour left for that candle to get a solid close below or above. But yeah, waiting for those pullbacks there for GPUSD. If it does hold the trend line, then waiting for another push back into this resistance, and then we could look to short there. Euro USD, waiting for a pullback for this one as well, but this one might have already gone, because we did have that manipulation down the 4H, so back to that previous resistance. Nice manipulation there, strong bearish close. So yeah, looking for Euro USD to push through these lows here and create some new lows, maybe around the 1.18 area, but want to see that retracement first and then get involved. But Euro USD might not give that, just because of how bearish it is and after that strong manipulation there. So yeah, we'll be waiting for those retracements. If they do happen, if they don't happen, we'll move on and look for some other pairs. Pound AUD short, yeah, pound AUD, we had that bias to the downside and it has actually taken off to the downside there as well. GPAUD back at that resistance there as well. We also did have this channel going on, looking at these wicks here in the market. So yeah, we kind of got this channel coming on, where in the market is actually kind of trading at that upper trend line of that channel, and it's also met this resistance there as well. So I am expecting GPAD to take a dive to the downside, potentially back to that lower trend line there. That'll probably be quite a move if that was to happen. But yeah, GPAD, I am seeing room to the downside, and of course if AUD carries on and seeing that strength in the markets, then yeah, GPAUD does have the potential to fall to the downside and come and hit this lower trend line. And as you can see, if you look closely here at the daily price action, we've had a push, create a higher high, pull back, higher high, pull back, higher high, pull back, lower high. So that's potentially our first lower high, so that's indicating that yeah, we might be rolling over here for GPAUD. So I think a bit of retracement now for GPAUD would be great after that big dump we had to the downside this morning. We're pushing back into this same area of support. So yeah, if the market was to pull back, then we could get involved in some shorts and then yeah, target some new lows. Again, potentially could target all the way out that trend line there. Might take a week or two to get there, so might have to be patient with that, but there's definitely some other targets. GPAD looks good to come and reach to. We've got support there, we've got support around about here, just below it, and of course we've got support here as well. So there's numerous places we could target for GPAD to come to, and yeah, my bias for GPAD is to the downside here. Recently just had a sell-off, so I'm going to wait for price to settle first, pull back, give us some nice opportunities, maybe back into this area around here, price support, now resistance, and then could get involved in some shorts back to the downside there again. But yeah, like I said, market's already sold off, so on the sidelines now, waiting for an opportunity to come and form. And again, yeah, from a daily point of view, strong daily close, strong daily candle closure there. Could be aiming for that trend line there, or even further if we can get a break of that trend line, but more downside for GPAUD. And yeah, we're doing Thursdays now. The poll was quite unanimous, to be fair. So it looks like Thursdays are back on now. Yeah, Thursdays are back on. I need to update my thumbnail, to be fair, because right now it just says Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But yeah, we'll be doing Thursdays as well, same time, 10 a.m. GMT to 12 p.m. GMT. And yeah, we'll be starting this week as well, so looking forward to that. GBJPY, another pair that I've been looking at for shorts this week. Kind of again, because all these moves are happening at the same time, and I kind of like was not awake for these moves, so they're all kind of happening at once. So like a lot of JPY pairs, a lot of USD pairs, so I kind of missed getting the tops of these moves. But at the end of the day, my targets for a lot of these pairs still do have quite a way to go. I mean, pound JPY for this pair, I still see a move back into these lows here, and that's around 200 pips away. So there's a lot of time for me to get back involved in these moves and a bit of a pullback on the lower time frames and ride it back down to this support down here, because this is where I do see GBJPY going to. I think again we had a bit of a false break here, nice strong bullish candle closure there, back into this resistance, and then nice wick above it, failing to break through, closing bearish again, and now we're seeing that conviction to the downside. So like I did say on my weekly analysis, bias is still to the downside for a lot of the JPY pairs and a lot of the USD pairs. AUD/JPY and NZD/JPY are kind of two outliers a little bit, because we're seeing a lot of strength in the AUD and NZD, so they might not play out as well, and they are taking out some key levels of resistance as well in the 4H. So if the AUD and NZD do keep up the strength, then it could actually take these pairs up. But like Euro/JPY, my bias is to the downside. Pound/JPY, my bias is to the downside. CHF/JPY, bias to the downside. CAD/JPY, bias is to the downside as well. So a lot of the JPY pairs, I will be staying away from AUD/JPY and NZD/JPY now after seeing those big moves there, just because I think more strength could be coming in for those pairs. So I will be focusing on other JPY pairs, but like CAD/JPY, I do see that coming back down into this level of support here, and if we can get a break all the way back down into this support there as well. So there's a lot of downside for a lot of these JPY pairs, and just have to wait for the right time to get involved. You can see here we had all this consolidation here, had the false break to the upside, closed back below, and now seeing the conviction. So it's kind of like the same move has happened across all these pairs for the JPY and the USD, because you can see here nice manipulation there for CAD/JPY, an hourly time frame. CHF/JPY, a bit of manipulation there as well. Close above, close back below. Pound/JPY, we had that on that resistance, on the resistance level. So there, close up, close back down. So a lot of these pairs do move the same, which is why I'm a big strong believer of just kind of picking the one pair that looks best and trading that, because sometimes you just see that, you know, if you take the same trade, not the same trade, but the same pair, so JPY, your trades will just either all pan out or hit your stop loss. So yeah, just always pick the best one and just trade that one, and also keeps your risk low as well, and less stress, less anxiety, keeping your mind clear as well, which is definitely an important thing. But yeah, look, they've all kind of done the exact same thing, closed above resistance, closed back below, and now we've seen a dump. So when they all do that at the same time, it normally does mean we're going to see a bigger move in the market as well. I have found that out recently as well, that when you do see the markets do the same thing, it normally indicates that they're all kind of back in sync and we're going to see some conviction in the market. So with that said, I think a lot of these JPY pairs will be falling to the downside, so we'll be eager to get in some shorts for these pairs. Right now they're far too bearish for me to get involved, so we'll be looking for a bit of retracement and then see if we can get some shorts either later on today or early tomorrow and get some shorts there. And then yeah, pound JPY targets will be first here, second this support there, and third all the way back down here. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of pips to catch from these pairs if they do play out. Of course, I could be wrong. If they do play out, there is a lot of pips to catch. Yeah, definitely too much reward. The more reward, the better, to be fair. And too much risk is just never good. It's never good. Even if you're really confident in getting into a trade, never take on more risk than you normally do or that you should do. Because at the end of the day, you know, as much of technical analysis or fundamental analysis or sentiment analysis you have, you know, you could always be wrong. So when you understand that, trading becomes a lot more less stressful, because you know that you can be wrong and it doesn't really matter, because you might be right on the next one or the next one after that. And if you are taking good reward and not silly risk, you will be fine in the long run. But yeah, let's take a look at some more of these pairs now. So like I said, a lot of the JPY pairs I'm expecting more room to the downside. If you take a look at gold has gone on a bit of a mad run to the upside here, which I did not expect, to be fair. I did not expect that from gold. I was expecting the market to kind of consolidate a little bit more at that resistance there, but it's actually broken through. So we are seeing that pullback for gold, which I think it is a pullback. I don't see gold coming back up these highs up here just yet. I think we'll see some downside first and then that will happen. So yeah, I'm still treating this as a pullback, because if you do look at gold, we've had a big collapse to the downside here, and the market does need to retrace that eventually. So I think we're in that mode now. 50% is all the way up there, so it doesn't have to get to 50%, but that's just potentially where it could get to. We are coming into this area here though, which I do think is going to have some impact in the price action there. As you can see, a big drop in price there, a lot of supply. So I think we might come in here, maybe start to consolidate, lose a bit of momentum, and then maybe take a dive to the downside, because it's a strong area of supply, and I think we'll probably see a reaction. I don't think we'll come all the way back here just yet though, because we are breaking through some structure. So I think we'll take a dive, maybe come back and retest this as support again. But yeah, I do see some downside for gold coming up in a little bit, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, I don't think I'll be getting involved, just because it's not that of a bigger move, to be fair. Probably want to hold my trade a little bit longer than that, and I can see the market retracing a little bit higher first before taking a move to the downside. But if it doesn't, and if it does hold at this area, then some good shorts can be happening. But I think you need to get in the lower time frames for that, maybe like the 15-minute or something. Well, currently I'll be saying one of the JPY pairs, maybe like CAD JPY on the move to the downside back into these lows here, or pound JPY back into these lows there, or potentially there, but that might take the rest of the week to happen, or maybe even next week. But yeah, I'll say CAD JPY or pound JPY for shorts for those pairs do look quite good. Currently, if you were to take them, you probably need to have your stop loss above those wicks there for pound JPY, above that wick there. So I'm currently waiting to see if you can get some price action on the smaller time frames to get involved, so I can have a slightly smaller stop loss and just maximize that risk to reward a little bit better. But CAD JPY does look good for some shorts back into the support here. Just waiting for a bit of a pullback to get involved and see if we can get a move down. News tomorrow. Oh, I have not checked the news, to be fair. Let me see what news we've got going on tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we do have some news coming out 3 p.m. tomorrow. High risk as well. So yeah, okay, so yeah, maybe you won't want to trade not the Canadian dollar. Not saying you can't trade it, but again, you do run that risk of having that volatility come in and maybe stop you out, or whatever it wants to do. Again, it also depends what time frames you're trading as well. Normally the higher time frames you should be fine with those news, but then yeah, if it does have a big impact, it can just cause unnecessary unnecessary stress. So probably yeah, pound JPY, if you don't want to get involved with the CAD news, will probably be a bit better then. And again, I think it's probably going to be the same move anyway. If we do see some strength in the Japanese yen, then we should be seeing a move to the downside for these pairs. But then again, with the news for the CAD, CAD might get sent flying to the upside or whatever. But yeah, pound JPY anyway. I don't think we have any major news for the pound this week. Let me just check on that. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any major news for the pound this week, so I think pound should be alright in terms of fundamentals. US dollar, have a bit of news later on tomorrow as well. But then again, we always have US dollar news anyway. So yeah, pound looks like it might not have any news there. So yeah, I'll probably be leaning a bit more to that pair just for the safer option. And then we can see a move to the downside, I think, anyway. I think as long as we stay below this wick here, well, that candle there, it's a wick on the 4H. But as long as we stay below that candle there, I do see more downside for pound JPY. And yeah, price pushing back to 152, maybe 151 as well. Yeah, it should be a big impact. Wait, is the mic? Oh, okay, so sorry. Just let me know if it does that again or if it's still doing that currently. Is it still making the noise? Thank you, William. Thank you, William. Much appreciated there. Much appreciated. Yeah, if you feel free to like the stream if you are enjoying the content and it's beneficial. Does mean a lot if you do that. Next, going to take a look at USD JPY. So again, for this pair, bias is still to the upside here. You can see clear structure here of higher highs and higher lows here on the 4H. Daily, we've recently just broken the key level of resistance here. So if I just take you across here, key level of resistance there is now acting as support. So in my weekly analysis, I did say, guys, that if you do hold this area as support, and I think we do have confidence of a trend line there as well, we should be seeing some upside here for USD/JPY. Right now, we're losing a little bit of momentum, so we might be struggling for some buys here. So probably want to wait for a nice shift of momentum there, see some buyers getting back involved. But if we do just hold this general area here, we can be seeing a nice long opportunity for USD/JPY back to highs at least, and maybe even 112 up there as well. So again, DXY looks good for some strength coming in. I know USD and JPY do have similar strengths, but I think we can see a stronger USD compared to the Japanese yen. And if it does play out, again, back at 112 and maybe even higher after that. So if we do get below this area, so get below the resistance and get below the trend line, then I might have to change my bias. But for now, looking at longs there, and waiting for a shift of momentum, because right now, if I go on the hourly time frame, you can see, very small body candles there and not real much momentum. So I want to see a nice strong body close above these wicks here, then we can get involved potentially, or maybe even wait for the 4H to do that as well, and then get involved on that time frame. Might be the better opportunity. But right now, bias is to the upside, looking for more long opportunities, because remember, again, all this resistance now on the daily is now acting as support. So we should, if we do hold this area, have a nice kick to the upside. Next, I'm going to take a look at EURUSD. So EURUSD, EURUSD is flying. I did have EURUSD on my watch list this week for shorts back into this support here. But again, looks like I have missed that opportunity. Yesterday I was waiting for price to retrace a little bit further to the upside. As you can see, we didn't have much retracement. There, so I was waiting for price to push back into this area here. Last support and half-time resistance. It did wick quite nicely, but I wanted to see a bit more, and you can see it is just flying off to the downside there. So that is a missed opportunity, but again, you can't catch them all. And you know, I'm gonna miss this opportunity. I'm gonna miss much more in the future as well. So at the end of the day, price is doing what is expected. So you know, that's good to take that into my other trades as well. But right now, USD, I do think we can see a lot more downside. This is the first target, and I think we'll have a bit of retracement. And I think USD could come back and come and hit this second target down here. And then if you get a break of that low, then I think USD potentially is back at these lows all the way down there for USD. Because again, if I go on the higher time frames like the weekly, you can see the market is still bearish, and I think this is potentially a pullback, and now I can see conviction to the downside. So if that does play out, USD could be seeing some strong bearish trends in the market, and there should be a lot more opportunities to come through as well, so it doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, yeah, Euro GBP, I missed that as well. I think I was looking at too many pairs yesterday, so I wasn't focused on a particular one. So I missed quite a few opportunities. But yeah, Euro GBP, missed that as well. Again, did say this on my weekly analysis that Euro GBP is good for a move to the downside here. Price support, big move up, now term resistance. We had a bit of a build up of price action there, so price was trying to break through this resistance here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times there for those wicks, failed to do so, and now starting to roll over to the downside. On the 4H, you can see nice conviction there. I believe that was from last week anyway, so Friday we closed around here. Didn't see much pullback again, but then we just slowly fell to the downside there over the course of yesterday slash overnight this morning. And now, yeah, Euro GBP, I'm still seeing some more downside for this pair back into these lows here, 0.85 350. And if it does play out on the higher time frames, then potentially Euro GBP could be back at this support all the way down there as well. So Euro GBP, more downside for this pair. I did say if we get back above this area of support there, then we could potentially go a lot further to the upside and also break through this trend line here, which we didn't really do. So the market's still obeying that area of resistance. I think we're back to lows and then maybe even 0.85 down there. So again, lower time frames, if you're looking to take advantage of this move, I'll probably wait for a bit of retracement now. Nice area of support there if we do come back to, because it is looking like the market is running out a bit of momentum, bit of steam with all those wicks there. So if we do push back up and hold this resistance, then that could be some nice shorts there. But if it doesn't happen, then yeah, the market's probably likely just to fall to that support anyway, and maybe give us some new lows. Yeah, NZD USD, we'll take a look now. NZD USD for this pair, again, like I said, NZD AUD are seeing some strength in the markets here. So you can see NZD is pushing up, but we've got like other pairs like Euro USD, GBP USD, which are falling to the downside. So big difference between the strength from the Euro and the strength from the NZD right now. But again, if we do look at this from a technical point of view, technical aspect, you know, the market does look like it is slowly wanting to turn bearish here, or we could at least see another leg to the downside. Going back to the daily time frame, we do have this support that the market did not retest, so that potentially where the market could be coming into. So we might be seeing another push up in here, carried with that NZD strength, and then if we do see a good change in strength for the US dollar, then we could be sent back down all the way down to these lows. But again, not too sure, not too keen to short NZD and AUD so far this week anyway, just because I do see some strength coming to those pairs. But then again, I do think US dollar will be stronger than them anyway. But Euro USD, Pound USD look like better pairs to trade, use the CAD as well. But if we were to look for opportunity, then I would say maybe wait for price to come back to this 0.712 area and then look for some shorts. You can see in the 4H, we've already had a nice big push momentum here. It's struggling to break through this resistance. But again, it would be nice to see maybe a bit of a false break, tap into that resistance there, come back down, and then we can look to take some shorts. And again, if it does play out, we can target this support all the way down there. So yeah, NZD shorts I think look good, but just be wary. We might be seeing some NZD strength in the market, so be a bit, cautious of that. But yeah, I want to see a bit more upside for the USD back into this area, monitor price action there, and then if we can get a nice shift in price action from bullish to bearish, then some shorts do look good. Potentially we could fall to the downside from here, but I think it might just be retracement for that move up there, then to come down. So that is what I will be waiting for the USD. Yeah, pound seat chef. Pound seat chef, this pair, very choppy, very choppy. Do have a bit of a level there. The market's trying to get above. Yeah, I can see some long opportunities because it looks like the market's giving us a bit of a bowl here from lower lows. Now it's forming higher lows, and we potentially could just, you know, see that momentum shift and then a big push to the upside. So yeah, I have been favouring pound CHF to break through this resistance for some time now. It's failed to do so, so I've kind of given up on the pair and just looked elsewhere. But looking at price action again, it looks like we might potentially could be breaking through it again. Yeah, we've definitely found support here in the market, struggled to break through it, and yeah, I'll be a bit wary of it just because the resistance is right there, even though I do expect price to probably break through it. But yeah, if it does break through it, then we potentially could see the market go a lot further. First target will probably have to be, you know, around this wick area here, there. Yeah, so I think that's basically the same area what you've given me down there, 1.28549. So yeah, that's practically that resistance there. So yeah, that would probably be your first target, because again, that wick did send the market back down, that resistance did send the market back down, and if you can get above through there, then yeah, we'll probably be looking at potentially all the way at these highs, all the way up there. So there is a lot of upside for pound CHF, but again, just be wary of that 1.28 resistance, this level here, that, well, again, you're probably gonna wait for the daily close anyway, so you know, you're going to see what you're getting by the end of the day, whether we're getting a strong daily close above or a big wick or whatever. Just be wary of that resistance, because it might send price back down, and we could just see a bit of this, and you could be stuck in a bit of consolidation, maybe breaks to the upside, maybe breaks to the downside. So be careful of that. But like I do say, if we are getting that bold shape in the market there, from lower lows to higher lows, then yeah, we should be breaking to the upside if the market does follow that structure. On the 4H, we've seen nice strength to the upside. So yeah, just depends how that daily candle closes, and then potential longs from there, target that resistance, and if you can break through that, we can go a lot further. And when I mean a lot further, I mean probably some new highs maybe, because this could just be another a higher low and now a higher high. But again, depends how long you want to hold onto your trade for. Euro USD, pound USD retracing, that could be interesting. Okay, yeah, we did see a bit of a wick to the downside there, so that is a good sign that the market is losing that bearish momentum. 50-minute, you can see we are slowing down from these big, strong, you know, long bearish candles to some weak ones to some wicks. So we are losing momentum here, but still haven't seen too much retracement just yet. Again, still waiting for price to come back into this area here, see if we can get some nice shorts from there, then targeting these lows here, and then next some new lows as well. Pound USD did pull back up. Again, it has closed slightly below that trend line there, but not enough for me to consider that as a strong breakout. So still going to treat that with the trend line intact. If the next one does close below, then yeah, we'll treat that as a broken trend line. But yeah, pound USD, I want to see a bit more retracement, like I said. If it was to come back up, retest this resistance, come back down, maybe get close below or something, then we could look some shorts back into these lows here, and maybe even a lot further back into those lows. So pound USD definitely has a lot more mileage to it in terms of, you know, areas or levels we can aim to, because Euro USD, we're seeing a lot of weakness for that recently. So, you know, the next clear level on the hourly time frame is that support there, which is not too far away. If we go in the higher time frames like the daily, we can potentially be aiming for, you know, maybe lows all the way down there, probably a bit too aggressive, or some areas of demand there. So there is places we can aim for EURUSD, but GBUSD looks like it's got a bit more of the mileage on it. So I'll probably be more inclined to trade that pair. But yeah, still waiting for that retracement to come through for both of them, to be fair. Euro JPY, let's take a look at that pair. Yeah, Euro JPY, big push to the downside there. So yeah, Euro JPY looks like it's following the analysis that we've had for since a couple of weeks now after this big move. Just treating all of this here as retracement. You can see the conviction to the downside for Euro JPY, new lows potentially, or whatever, at least to the previous lows, and then maybe further and some new lows past that. But yeah, Euro JPY bearish as well, like I did say before. Pound JPY again. I think both of them pairs will fall to the downside because of Euro GBP. It looks like Euro is a lot weaker than the pound, so Euro JPY should fall a lot better than Pound JPY, which is probably why we're looking so bearish here for Euro JPY compared to the pound. But yeah, Euro JPY more shorts for this one, back down to the lows and even further. So yeah, more downside for this one. Currently, it looks like we've broken through this support here. Well, we did get close, but not the strongest close, so I'll probably wait for maybe another close there. But if anything, for people on the lower time frames, maybe wait for a break to the downside, and then maybe a pullback, and then the continuations to the downside after that. Or again, maybe short on the daily close as well. But anyway, I do see more downside. More mic noise. I need to take a look at this mic after the stream. But thanks guys for telling me. So yeah, more downside for Euro JPY. Again, a bit of retracement, maybe the retest of that, and then the continuation, or again daily close shorting on that. But again, we do still have another 11 hours before the daily candle closes, so a lot of trading to do before that candle closes. Could pull back up, could continue further. We'll find out. But yeah, I do agree, more downside for Euro JPY. Yeah, I mean, I think because again, like I said previously, a lot of the pairs are clicking at the same time, so it looks like you're getting a lot of short signals at the same time as well. Which is a good thing. Doesn't mean you have to trade all of them, but it's a good thing because it's kind of like an extra sign of confluence. Because if you're looking at one pair, Pound JPY, and then you look at Euro JPY, and they look completely different, then the trade might not work out. But if they all are in sync, then that is definitely a good sign, that especially from a daily closure, because on the lower time frames you do get a lot of noise, and there's a lot of speculation, so it could wick you out of a trade. But as a daily close, taking it on the daily close, it gives you that room to see the moves normally play out. Obviously, if you're in the right direction. But yeah, it does look good for shorts for a lot of these pairs. Take a look at entity CAD. So again, you can see a big change of momentum to the upside for this pair. On my weekly analysis, I said the market's still bearish. I'm still looking for shorts for this one back at this area, but as you can see, we've broken through that. The market was finding a bit of a bottom here at this support, so I did say we're likely to see a move higher to the upside first and then a move back down. But as you can see, entity strength just kind of violated that area there, and has broken through very strongly. So entity CAD is looking quite bullish here. You can see down the daily time frame, we've had multiple attempts at breaking through this support. So 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts at trying to break through this support. So it does look like entity CAD wants to go long now. Long as in how far, not too sure, but at least to this area, I think. At least to that area, I think, because you can see when we previously did test this area of support for the first time, we did see a big shift of momentum to the upside here. And now the market is showing similar signs of that momentum to the upside. So if we do, just mirror what's happened in the past, then yeah, 0.8 88400 is where I do expect the market to get to, which is that resistance. A break of that, then we might be looking at a reversal. Potentially could already be looking at a reversal, but I'm not going to call that, it's too early. But a break for this potentially could be looking for a reversal for NZD CAD, and yeah, a lot of upside for this pair. But right now, yeah, strong daily candle closure. Again, like I said, we still got 11 hours, is it? 11 hours? Yeah, no. Yeah, 11 hours left for that candle to close. So a lot can happen in 11 hours. So we'll wait for that daily candle close to see what we get at 10 o'clock GMT. And then from there on, we could be looking at some longs as well for people in the lower time frames. Again, we do have this resistance here now turn support. So if the market will be kind enough to retrace to that area, hold on to it, we do have some nice longs to get involved to. Again, that's like 130 pips, 130 odd pips. So, you know, if it does give us a nice sign, then yeah, longs do look very, very good for NZD CAD to the upside, but we'll wait for that daily candle closure as well. Yeah, nice. Want to control the risk. Risk is really important. Once that's controlled, you know, you can start to see the rewards coming in as well. So yeah, there are a lot of pairs. I mean, NZD CAD looking very bullish there. NZD JPY looking bullish as well. We are anticipating some JPY strength, so maybe just leave this pair alone, because we're looking at NZD strength and JPY strength, so two pairs that could potentially be strong. Often doesn't give you the best moves in the market, because again, if they're both strong, they're going to be consolidating and just trying to fight one another. But if one's strong and one's weak, then that's where we see, you know, the real movements in the market. So probably will be staying away for NZJPY and likewise AUDJPY as well. Again, I did have that bearish bias here, because I still do for a lot of the JPY pairs, apart from USDJPY. So still looking for that move down there, but I'll probably just leave this pair alone. But again, interesting to see the daily candle closure, whether it's past that resistance or if it's pulled back. But yeah, I'll just leave that pair alone anyway. USD another US dollar pair, again still having that bias to the upside. Actually, we will take a look at the DXY right now. So DXY, like I did say, I was looking at more upside for this pair. Again, looking at the weekly time frame, you can see it looks like potentially for finding a bottom there. Again, not going to call that out just yet, because the market is still overly bearish here. Looking at this wick here and that wick there, we're potentially still on that trend line, so we could even reject that trend line, come back down, you know, and go much lower. So not going to say that is a bottom, but it's definitely the market failing to break for that support very, very aggressively. Again, I know that was fundamentals that took us all the way up here, but it is still showing us that we're failing to break through that support. So yeah, I'm seeing some more upside for the DXY. Again, back to highs here, maybe even further if it wants to, but not going to be too overly confident with this. Again, the market's pulled back here, nice strong candle closure there. So DXY, I see a bit of retracement and then further continuations back to this area here. So I do see another push back to that resistance, and with that information there, and I can see USD kind of mirroring that that move a little bit, and seeing that move back into that area, back into that resistance, and then maybe we can look for continuations, maybe 0.93 up there. But again, like I said, not to be too overly confident with it, and just kind of play it by ear. But yeah, DXY looks good for some more buys. So yeah, I think USD will follow, and a lot of the other USD pairs will follow as well. Yeah, pound CAD, I'm currently still in a short trade for this one. Did take some profit off because we were rejecting a trend line back below. So if we connect these points here, so again you can see here, got short around that area there. Nice push to the downside. We're rejecting this area here, so I was expecting this to be quite a nice swift false break of the trend line there. So if you have the trend line in like this and the market's pushed up, was expecting the market to come right back down and trade like that, but as you can see, it's actually held as support. So I have taken some profit off there, but I still do see some more downside for pound CAD. as long as we hold this resistance. And as you can see, we did come to revisit there this morning, and the market's still rejecting it. So still holding in the rest of my position and looking for a move back down into these lows here for pound CAD. And then if you can go 1.7 there as well. So yeah, more downside for pound CAD. Again, pound CAD is still kind of in this choppy area, so it does explain why it's moving how it is. But nonetheless, I still do see more conviction to the downside. We did see that conviction come in last week. I was suspecting this is just retracement for some continuation later in the week. So yeah, more downside for pound CAD. Again, I do still see the market coming all the way down to this support, all the way down there. Not looking to trade into that support though, because again, that'll probably take 1, 2, maybe even 3 weeks to get there, and I'm not planning to hold my trade for that long. But yeah, downside for USD CAD, I am seeing that currently, and back to those previous lows there. So yeah, as you can see how that trade plays out right now, I think entries around various with resistance just above there, and obviously looking for those moves there. So yeah, more downside for pound CAD, and you can see that that gets going. Euro CAD as well, we're seeing downside for this one, another Canadian pair. Again, like I did say, euro is a lot weaker than the pound currently, so we are seeing Euro CAD flow and move to the downside a lot better than pound CAD, just because euro is weaker than the pound. You can see Euro GBP falling to the downside, weaker euro than the pound, and the Euro CAD is falling to the downside a lot better than the pound CAD. So I think that will eventually maybe change as Euro GBP retraces. Then we'll start to see the pound CAD fall and Euro CAD have a bit of a hard time. So I think they'll swap eventually, but right now, yeah, Euro CAD looks to be the better pair. But yeah, still seeing more downside for this one. Hopefully we can get some conviction to the downside before the news gets in. So maybe stop losses at break even potentially, or at least we can secure some profit before the news gets in. But we don't know, the news might take it against us or for us. We'll find out tomorrow. Next, if you take a look at Euro AUD, so Euro AUD, we've recently seen a big sell-off to the downside. You can see there on the hourly time frame, a real nice big sell-off to the downside. 4H there as well, breaking through that support. So obviously, again, that is helped by the strength in the AUD. So again, strength in the AUD taking us back down to those lows. Like I did say for USD, this all could potentially just be one big pullback. So a bear flag there. So there's the impulse to the correction, and then we could be seeing the impulse back down to these lows. So that potentially could be happening. And again, if that is happening, no need to panic. There'll be numerous areas of retracement to get involved as the market does fall. So again, just having that long-term view in, which will help with the short-term trades. We do have this key area of support here in the market. All of that support. So if we can retrace back into there, that would be great, which I think we can do anyway, because if you look at this market here, it's had a big sell-off, barely any retracement, and another big sell-off. So when you see the market do that, retracement is quite likely. And this is kind of the area where if the market was to retrace, that's where you would expect it to come to. Might break through it, might go a bit higher, but that's where I'm expecting the market to come to. And again, monitor price action around there, see if you can get any potential short entries. If not, the market might push back to come and retrace to this area here, and then take the dive to the downside. But anyway, bias is very much the downside for these pairs. Euro AUD, pound AUD, biases to the downside as well. Again, you see pound AUD looking very bearish as well. Euro AUD is obviously doing a little bit better because we've got that weakness in the euro. Pound NZD, another similar pair, still falling to the downside. Waiting for a bit of retracement here. Price support now will be term resistance, so you can get nice rejection of that area, and then looking for the conviction back down to this daily trend line. If I just zoom out for a second, see nice daily trend line there. Another test of that area around 1.95. And USD as well, is already smashing a lot of targets to the downside. Again, was looking for shorts for this week for USD, but I have missed that trade there. So yeah, USD is coming to the first target. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback from that area, because as you can see, it did give us a really nice move. So I'm expecting some type of reaction from that area, and then potentially after that we can go short again back into this area here, 1.66, and then we've got that area there, and then by the time we get to this area, I'm pretty confident that USD will probably be coming back to the lows all the way down there anyway. So yeah, it looks like we could be seeing a bit of a trend change for these pairs, for USD, Euro AUD, Pound NZD, and Pound AUD, but a trend change back to bearish, and yeah, it just could be opening up doors for more shorts on the lower time frame. So you can see they're very bearish right now, so there's no point in selling, waiting for a bit of retracement, and then could get involved. And yeah, we'll see if we can get some shorts later for these pairs in the week. If we go back in Euro USD, see how that pair is doing. So again, Euro USD, another pair that we're looking at for potential shorts. Again, you can see the structure of the market is very much to the downside. We had a really nice 4H candle close, we had a nice wick above that resistance, a bit of manipulation of that level, and now we had a strong candle closure there. So looking for a bit of a pullback to price support in the market. So price support here will be term resistance, see what type of price action we get there, and then shorts back into these lows, and then some lower lows there. So hopefully we can get that retracement, which does look like Euro USD might be doing. And also Pound USD as well, another pair we're looking at for retracement. Again, we've had a closure below that trend line, but it's kind of a weak candle closure, so not taking that too much to heart as a strong candle break. Want to see if the next one can close below as well to confirm the break. But if you can get a retracement to the upside back into the resistance here and then see the break, that'll be nice. And then yeah, get involved in some shorts for the Pound USD, because we still do see a move to the downside back into this support here, 1.38 area, and then back into the lows all the way down here, and just continue that bearish structure of push, pullback, another push, potentially pullback as well. So yeah, downside for Pound USD, waiting for that retracement there. Same thing for Euro USD, waiting for that retracement. Got eyes on these pairs. I think we can be getting some trades in these maybe later today, if not early tomorrow morning. Might happen overnight as well, so if that does happen, then trade will be missed, but happens all the time, so nothing to worry about. But if we do get some nice entries here, I do think it'll be later today or either tomorrow morning. And then yeah, into that 1.38 and then the lows down there. Pound USD's got a little bit more mileage on it than Euro USD, so might be the slightly better pair to trade. It might take a little bit longer to play out, but it means that more pips there to catch, more reward, whereas Euro USD is not too far from where I do expect it to go, which are these lows here, and if we're lucky we can get some new lows past it. So yeah, I think I'll be focusing more on Pound USD than Euro USD, but then if I don't get anything from Pound, then Euro might look good. Chia, you're looking at Pound USD and Euro USD as well for some shorts as well. Gold is still very, very bullish here. Yeah, I think we can be in for some shorts coming up, but I don't think I'll probably trade it. Price action is a little bit choppy here because we've broken structure here, but we're coming into a very strong area of supply. So yeah, could be seeing some type of reaction here to the downside. Again, I did say that there's probably the safe target for gold, rather than targeting lows or levels down there, because we've broken through that resistance, so we can be coming into an area of resistance now, and then coming back into that area of resistance now turns to support, and you're just following structure of push, pull back, push. So gold looks like it could be seeing a move to the downside. It's not quite at the area yet where I do think the reaction will come, but I think it will probably fall with some of the other USD pairs, so kind of trading the same move really. So we'll be focusing on pound USD, because I think that's probably the better pair to trade in terms of risk reward and everything else. So we'll be focusing on this pair so you can get a nice move to the downside and back to 1 point. At best I think pound USD can actually get to 1.37, which is this support all the way down there where we had that double bottom. So 1-2 big reaction to the upside, retested it, and then we saw the continuation. I think we can get to this area here. So yeah, if that does play out, then the risk reward will be really good for pound USD. So waiting for that pullback and the confirmations, then we could get involved in some shorts. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'll be waiting for that same move there as well, hopefully. Looks like it might be coming later today, but it might be a tomorrow morning opportunity as well. So we'll be keeping an eye out for there throughout the day, see what type of price action we are getting, and then get some shorts in. Pound JPY, another pair that I do like the look of, and we'll be having my eye on as well. Because again, looking for those shorts there for a lot of the JPY pairs, because I'm expecting that JPY strength to be coming in. So yeah, we'll be looking at this pair, but as you can see, pound JPY is very bearish right now, whereas pound USD looks like we might be seeing some retracement. So pound JPY might not get an entry, whereas pound USD we might do. So we'll be seeing what type of price action we get there throughout the day. Of course, right now it's still very early on, still got multiple hours left of the day. We could still pull back for this pair, but yeah, we'll be waiting to see what type of price action we get, taking this as a bit of manipulation here of that resistance, and then we've seen the conviction to the downside. So again, we've got target 1 there for pound JPY, target 2. I think we can stick in a target before that low all the way down there, so maybe around this area here, 152,400, and then yeah, all the way down at these lows here, 151,500. So pound JPY, a lot of downside movement for this pair I'm seeing, but yeah, want to see a bit of retracement and then the continuation. And again, Euro JPY, I'm seeing that shorts as well, but for me, Euro JPY has kind of already moved on. So yeah, we'll not be focusing on this pair because it's already kind of broken past my first target, and not involved in those shorts anyway. So pound JPY still hasn't really had that kick yet. So we'll be looking at that pair for that kick to come. Hopefully, later today, tomorrow morning, and then ride those to the downside. But anyway, I still do see Euro JPY shorts to the lows here. But just pound JPY's got that bit more mileage on it, so the risk to reward will be a lot better. So I will be favouring that opportunity over this one. But yeah, both of them should be moving quite similar anyway, so there's no real need for me to trade both. But yeah, Euro JPY shorts, pound JPY shorts, and Euro USD shorts and pound USD shorts, all very similar, all very correlated, but they're all linking up quite well and syncing together quite well. So shorts for any one of those pairs do look good, but again, the important thing to be is patient and wait for the entries, because right now we've already seen them sell off, so don't really want to be getting some shorts now. Could be suffering at quite a bit of drawdown if it does pull back. So waiting for that and then the move to the downside. Yeah, so Euro USD, waiting for those shorts there, and on the hourly time frame anyway, waiting for that retest of this area, then the move lower. So again, this is the hourly time frame and price support term resistance. Right now the market is a bit too bearish here. It's broken through that support, so I want to see a bit of retracement then, and then we can look to take it lower to the downside, back to these lows and past it. Can't wait for confirmations on the hourly. And same thing for pound USD as well. like I did say, break of that trend line, wait for a bit of a pullback, and then take it lower. Again, it might be a trade later today or tomorrow, so you need to keep an eye out for that. But same thing for Euro USD, for Pound USD as well. Waiting for the pullback, the shorts, and then back to 1.38, this key support here in the market, and then a break of that all the way back down to those lows there. Is anyone else in any trades currently? Or looking at any pairs, because there are any pairs that they want to get involved later on in the week or not too sure about, let us know, take a look at them, see what's going on with those pairs. Again, like I said to you guys, a lot of the JPY pairs I've got my eyes on, and the USD as well. But main pair focusing on is Pound USD, maybe Pound JPY. For shorts, probably won't trade both, just waiting for one of them to give me a nice opportunity, then I'll get involved. And yeah, looking for shorts there. CAD JPY, good shorts could be coming up for this pair as well, already looking quite bearish there. Back down to these lows around the 89 mark, and then maybe even further. But we do have some CAD news coming up tomorrow, so be aware of that. Maybe some other JPY pair might be the better pair to trade, just because we could be getting some, some not as necessary but inconvenient moves for CAD, which could affect your trade and then hit your stop loss or whatever, and then eventually come back in direction. Whereas Pound JPY should be fairly calm throughout this week anyway, because it doesn't look like we've got any news announcements for the pound. The CAD JPY, we do have one for the Canadian dollar tomorrow. So even though I'm expecting more shorts to the downside, probably will focus on the Pound JPY instead. Euro JPY, again, like I said, we're seeing that move to the downside happen anyway. CAD CHF, a little bit noisy this pair, as you can see, a little bit choppy there. Not really one of my favorite pairs to trade, and you can see why looking at the daily chart. A bit of a nuisance really. I'm seeing more upside for the CAD CHF anyway, back to these highs here, because it does look like the market is trying to turn bullish again, and if it does succeed, then we should be seeing the market back at that resistance here, maybe even some new highs as well. So yeah, CAD CHF looks good for buys. Wait, let me take that back. It doesn't look good for buys, but if I was to call a move, it would be to the upside. It does not look good for buys right now. It looks very messy, but yeah, I do think it will probably move higher, so maybe a retracement, maybe back to the previous support down here. Then potentially, if it was to come back here, reject that area there, then yeah, then it might look good for buys. As of right now, it does not look good for buys at all. If anything, probably want to sell it down, but yeah, CAD CHF, I do stay away from the pair, a bit too choppy for me, and as of right now, there are definitely other pairs that look better to trade, so we'll stay away from that. But if I was to call a move, it would be to the upside for CAD CHF. Let's go and take a look at Bitcoin. So for this pair, we've had a bit of a choppy move recently. You see the market is a bit all over the place here on the 4H. Clear area of resistance that the market is struggling to break through. As you can see there, I've tested it once, twice, third time maybe a slight false breakout. Test it again and a strong reaction. So I think if Bitcoin wants to break through this support in the market, we could be coming back to some lows down there. And if we break through this resistance here and start holding, then we'll probably see a bit of a conviction to the upside. So right now, treating Bitcoin as a bit of a sideways market, bit of consolidation. And if we can break up one of these major areas of support and resistance, then we'll probably start to see a bit more movement for Bitcoin. If we can pick a direction a lot easier. But as of right now, yeah, it's just a little bit too choppy right now. So if it does break that support, then yeah, expecting the market right back here, and then maybe at these lows here. If you break to the upside, then I think we can be coming back to this resistance all the way up there, around the 41,000 mark. But like I said, right now sideways, so no clear direction or clear price action for me for that pair. Thank you for the kind words, does mean a lot. Thank you for joining the live stream as well. Make sure you drop a like, guys, if you're finding the stream useful or enjoying the content, or if you're just feeling generous, drop a like. It does mean a lot. No worries, John. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Okay, you're already in some shorts for GE. That looks good then. It looks good. Yeah, I'm waiting for an entry for this one. We've already pushed quite down, so I'm waiting for a retracement to get involved. But yeah, I do agree with the shorts for pound USD. Yeah, we'll be looking at this area as the first target. So target 1 around the 1.38 mark. Target 2 all the way down here, 1.37500-ish. Maybe slightly below that, but yeah, more downside for pound USD I am seeing, back down to that support and that support. So yeah, I do agree with that trade there. It looks quite good. GJ, yeah, so GJ, I'm looking for shorts for this pair right now. It's a little bit too bearish for me to get involved, but as you can see, we've had a nice really sell off and a nice little bit of a false breakout. Strong close above there, close right back below. So you know, textbook sell off, textbook false breakout. Sorry, and now we're starting to see the sell off through. So yeah, first target will be this support down there. It looks like the market will reach it anyway. Like I did say, I'm looking for shorts as well for the pound JPY, but I want to see a bit of retracement first. So maybe you can get some retracement back into here and then the follow through, or maybe even higher up and then the follow through. But yeah, looking for retracement right now. It's a little bit too bearish for me to get involved, but I do see the market falling to this level here, and if you can get a break into that level there, you know, I got numerous levels where I do expect to see the market follow through there. You can see on the 4H, nice false break to the upside, and now I've seen that conviction. So eventually I do see the market all the way back at these levels down there. But yeah, I just got levels on the hourly time frame that could cause a bit of struggle for this pair as it moves lower. So yeah, basically areas to take profit at. But yeah, looking for shorts for this pair. So like I said, a bit of retracement would be great, and then can get involved a bit later on. As of now, it's looking quite bearish, so maybe you might get that retracement later on today or tomorrow morning potentially. So we'll be looking out for that. But yeah, if you are willing to, if you are looking to short the pair right now, then your stop loss has got to be above that high there, because if that high does get taken out, then I'll probably reanalyze pound JPY and might change my bias potentially. So if you are looking to short it currently, you know, your stop loss has got to be above that wick there, you know, for you to be on the safe side. So that excuse me, so the risk to reward is a little bit off. The risk to reward is a little bit off, you know, if you do have this area of support here. So that's why I'm not currently looking to short pound JPY as of right now, because the risk to reward is, you know, all over the place. So I want to see that retracement first, and then can get involved in some shorts later on. And yeah, same thing for pound USD as well. Already a little bit too bearish for me, and then want to see some conviction later on. So wait for that retracement to come through and then get involved in some shorts. More mic noise. Yeah, I will take a look at my mic after the live stream. Um, but yeah, it's starting to become a running joke now, to be fair. And it's always the new equipment always messing around. But yeah, we'll take a look at this mic because it seems to have a mind of its own. Yeah, patiently waiting, see if we can get them nice entries. Don't want to rush it, don't want to have that fear of missing out. Even if you do miss that entry, you know, there will be trades later this week anyway on a different pair, maybe even that same pair later on, so no need to rush anything. Okay, no worries, William. Have a good one. I mean, yeah, trading daily, there's nothing for you to do, you know, then wait for the candle to close. So, yeah, best of luck to you too, man. Thank you for joining the live stream. Does mean a lot. Have a good one. And yeah, live stream up again tomorrow. So, hopefully, we'll chat to you there again. And, you know, if you're in any trades, feel free to, you know, share them. But have a good one. Thanks for joining the live stream, man. Yeah, I mean, happy to help, happy to help. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, my analysis is not gospel. You know, it's not meant to be taken, you know, as what you need to follow. So, yeah, if you're doing own analysis, and then maybe if it does line up with mine, again, extra confidence as well. Always looking for that confidence, aren't we? So, yeah, I mean, happy to help. And, you know, everything I say, you know, is just what I think as well. So I could be wrong, I could be right. But then if you do analysis and it lines up with what I'm saying as well. So, it means that we're on the same page. And also for me as well, good to see when I analyze a pair and I see someone else, has the same opinion or same analysis. It's good for me as well. It means that we're in sync and got the same analysis. So we're seeing the same things. But yeah, definitely happy to help as well. And if anyone's in any pairs as well, or currently looking at some pairs, they've done their own analysis and now want to see potentially what my analysis is, or my opinions are, just feel free, drop a comment down below. See what charts you're trading or what pairs you've got your eyes on. Because again, for me, a lot of the JPY pairs are looking for those shorts there. Pound USD, another pair potentially for a move lower. Same thing for pound JPY as well for a move lower. A lot of these pairs are looking good. It looks like we're seeing a lot of AUD and NZD strength coming to the markets. I think NZD CAD could be a potential nice opportunity if we get some strong daily candle closes. I think NZD CAD might be a trade for later on in the week. I'm not sure if we will get that tracement anywhere either, because it's a very strong daily candle if it was to close like that. But yeah, I can see NZD CAD making its way back up to this resistance up here. But yeah, I want to see a bit of retracement, and I did highlight this area here on the 4H, this prior resistance, that support. I want to see if we can get a pullback into this area, will be great. And then yeah, ride it to the upside back into this around 0.88500 area. But first, I want to see a daily candle close breaking through this resistance, because then that tells me that we've had this shift in momentum from bears to bullish on the daily, so we can now drop to the lower time frames and take advantage of that shift in momentum to the upside. So yeah, I want to see that daily candle closure. So again, nothing for me to do today. I want to see that daily candle closure, and then tomorrow we can see if we can get that retracement. Again, it doesn't have to, because if the daily candle was to close as bullish it is, the next one could just open where it closes it and just continue to the upside anyway, without much retracement. So if that does happen, then all well, missed opportunity. But if it does retrace for us and then hold this area, we could be in for a nice move. Already highlighted it, it's around 136 pips to the upside, so there's a lot of pips to catch if it was to retrace to that area, and we can be involved in some nice longs, because again, it does look like NZD and AUD are getting that strength in the markets. So if that does keep up, then your NZD CAD does look good for more upside. And a break of this resistance here, we can go a lot further. Probably won't be looking to hold that trade for that long, but again, that's just more of a long-term view, more long-term analysis on that. So yeah, NZD CAD longs do look good, but we'll be staying away for today, just waiting to see what the daily candle gives me. But yeah, for now we'll be focused on GU, GJ for those shorts. And yeah, I can see GJ coming back all the way down to these lows here anyway, and GU coming all the way down to these lows here as well. So there's a lot of mileage on these trades, which is good. Risk to reward means it's good, but I want to see a bit of retracement first. GU looks like it might retrace a little bit better than GJ, so it might be getting on that. Might be trading GU instead of GJ just because of the retracement, but we'll be on the sidelines waiting for that opportunity to come through. So we'll see what the market gives us. As of right now, they're both quite bearish, so on the sidelines. Same thing with Euro USD as well. Waiting for the retracement for that one. I'll probably be favoring the pound pairs anyway, so I probably will be staying away from Euro USD. Not because it doesn't look good, just because the pound USD and the pound JPY have a bit more mileage, so the risk to reward makes a little bit more sense. But the setup here looks quite good as well if it was to play out. First one, see the move into there, the retracement, reject it, hold, and then the move down. Same thing for pound USD and pound JPY, just that there's more pips to catch on those pairs, hence why I'm focusing on those pairs. AUD CAD is doing something similar to NZD CAD. So like I said, NZD CAD looks good for some longs. And if NZD CAD is going to go up, then there's a good chance that AUD CAD is going to follow it as well. But like I said, from a technical standpoint, NZD CAD looks a lot clearer than NZD CAD. You can see AUD CAD, we're having a nice clean break of that trend line. We're currently breaking, we haven't broken it yet, the daily candle still hasn't closed yet, so that could obviously still pull back. A little bit unlikely, but you know, it can still do that, so I won't call it just yet. But if it does close like that, then we've had a break of that trend line. So yeah, then that's, from a technical standpoint, it looks like AUD CAD could be following it as well. We do have resistance here, which is now, if it does close like that, would have broken it, so potentially could look for a bit of a pullback onto that area there. But like I said, NZD CAD is a lot cleaner, AUD CAD a little bit more choppy, as you can see all this price action there, the wicks and all the noise there, so that's why I'm favouring NZD CAD a lot more than AUD CAD, even though they'll probably make the same move, they'll probably move to the upside as well. But yeah, a strong close above there, and then for NZD CAD, a bit of retracement maybe back into this area, start holding it as support, and then the continuation to the upside. And for targets will probably be that resistance up there, and then the next one up here, and then the next one all the way up there. So you know, same kind of move, very similar pairs, but still waiting for those daily candle closures, which does look like we're going to see some upside. But yeah, wait for the daily candle closures, and then tomorrow we can start monitor price action, see what we're getting, and then can look to ride that momentum. Because even NZD CAD, like I said, it looks like we're holding that support back there. You know, we've had first test here, big push to the upside, another test here, not as big, but we're having test, another test here, we've had a nice wick to the downside, so a bit of a false break, taking out a lot of people's stop losses who were buying in that support a bit too early, and then we've come back up, come back down to test it again, giving us a higher low formation. You know, another test that area, struggle to break through it, and now we're seeing the big shift of momentum, which is what we like to see, because it means that the bullish momentum is now, you know, more now bigger than the bearish momentum. So you know, if we were to take some buys, we'll be on the right side of the market, and you know, ride that momentum to the upside. So if we do get a nice candle closure, how it's looking right now, then that would be great. Retracement might not be likely all the way back down to that support. That's the only bad thing. We might not retrace that much, but if we do, great longs to the upside, back into the resistance up there. AUD CAD, like I said, this one a little bit more choppy, and the CAD looks a little bit clearer, but it'll probably be the same move anyway. So if you do see an opportunity on AUD CAD, I wouldn't be too afraid to take it. But like I said, I'll probably be focusing more on NZD rather than AUD. But yeah, AUD CAD more upside if you can hold that area of support, and then any one of these three areas look good for targets, maybe even past that anyway. And if I go on the weekly as well, you can see where we are in the market. You know, we're at this area of support here on the weekly time frame. You know, we could potentially see, you know, quite a big reaction, maybe even to the areas of up there around 0.97. Of course, not going to hold into a move that long. That'll probably take 5-6 weeks to do that. I'm not planning to hold the trade for that long, but you know, if that is potentially what could happen, then we could be on, you know, starting a nice bullish trend, and it could just be riding those pullbacks all the way up to that area. So we're at a nice area on the weekly where you do expect to see some type of reaction, and it looks like we are getting that. So bias currently is to the upside, waiting for those candles to close for AUD CAD and NZD CAD, and then see what type of positions we can get from then on. And yeah, pound USD, pound JPY do look good as well. So like pound USD is starting to retrace, but I want to see a bit more retracement than that. Same thing for Euro USD as well. I want to see a bit more retracement there, and then the continuations. But we'll be looking to end the live stream in the next 10 minutes or so. So if there's any pairs that you guys are currently looking at or want me to take a look at, or any pairs that you're currently involved with trading and want my opinion, just let me know, drop it in the chat, and I will give you some analysis on those pairs. What pairs will I get involved with? So like I said, entity CAD, I will wait for a daily candle closure and then see if I can get involved in some longs tomorrow. I'm waiting for a retest of this area here of resistance, so resistance here, now turning support. I'm waiting for the market to come back here, give me some nice bullish confirmations, then we'll look to target 0.88500, so that move up there, so retest there. So that's what I'm looking to get involved with. Also looking to get involved with pound USD. This one looks like a little bit more likely to happen. Entity CAD might not retrace that, but pound USD I think it could retrace, which it looks like it currently is doing. So yeah, waiting for some retracement back into this area here, then maybe you can get another break of that trend line. We'll get involved in some shorts back into this support there and back into that support there. Or if pound JPY looks a little bit better, because right now it's quite bearish, waiting for some retracement back into here, then if you can hold that, some shorts, or potentially maybe a slightly bit more retracement even back into that resistance, that would be all right as well. Then yeah, looking for some shorts back into this as the first target, second target, third target, then keep touching that, then target all the way down there. But there's numerous targets which I will kind of explain as the move plays out, over the streams tomorrow and Thursday. But yeah, looking for retracement for pound USD and pound JPY. First area of interest there, second probably around this area here. Then we'll be shorting back down to 153.100 and then 152.700, so that's support there. So looking for a bit of retracement for pound JPY, getting some shorts, pound USD retracement, getting some shorts, and then entity CAD, waiting for a daily candle closure, then a retracement, and then some long. So those are the three pairs which I'm kind of focusing on for moves. And yeah, those are the pairs that I'm focusing on to capitalize on some moves on. Okay. Okay guys, so it's coming up to 12 p.m, coming up to the end of the live stream, so I'm going to do a quick rundown on some of the pairs that we've looked at today, see what's going on with those pairs, also some of the pairs that I'm looking to get involved in later this week, tomorrow, or maybe Wednesday or Thursday, whenever we get an opportunity, and then see how they get going. So I'm going to do a quick rundown, and if again guys you want me to look at any pairs, just drop it down in the chat quickly and I'll do some before the live stream ends. But just going to take a look at some of the pairs and see how they get going on and any opportunities we're looking at. So pound USD is definitely a pair that we're looking at for an opportunity later on this week, or later on today even, if we can get one. Wait for some retracement, then we'll look at some shorts targeting 1.38 and then 1.37 500 area, looking for more shorts. You can see the structure there, nice push, pullback, push, anticipating this at the pullback and looking for another push back into those lows, then maybe even further, maybe some new lows as well. But anyway, looking for those shorts for pound USD as long as we stay underneath this kind of resistance here, treating this as a false breakout, so as long as we stay underneath there, then looking for those shorts. Same thing for Euro USD as well, looking for shorts for this pair, but again the mileage might not be as good for Euro USD than pound USD, because the lows are right there. But again, same thing, same concept, still looking for shorts, still treating that as the same move really. We've had a nice candle closure down the 4H, nice wick to the upside, pull back, close bearish below that support, waiting for the retest and then the continuation to the downside, back down to these lows and maybe even further. But the market, as you can see, is still very bearish here for Euro USD, so as of right now, no real reasons to be looking for longs, and shorts back to those lows and maybe even further. Next, we'll take a look at pound JPY, so another pair I do have my eye on, waiting for a bit of retracement either to this area or around there for some shorts to the downside, and see if we can target some lows here. The market right now is looking quite bearish, or waiting for a bit of retracement and then take it back down, and then some opportunities could form later on in the week. But the market here looking for bearish moves here. I think we can come down all the way to these lows here. I'm not sure if the market will do that this week. It might take next week as well, but any one of these three targets I can see reach this week if the market does stay bearish, which it is currently right now. So waiting for a bit of retracement there, and then shorts to the downside there. Entity CAD again looking for some longs, waiting for a bit of retracement, a nice daily close first, and then retracement to the downside, and then continuations back up to 0.88500. The market, you can see on the daily, if we do get a similar daily close to how we're looking now, there's a big shift in momentum from the bears to the bulls, and just want to take advantage of that momentum back to highs and maybe even further. But it does look good for some potential buys there. ADCAD, similar pair as well. If Entity CAD's going to move up, ADCAD's got a good chance of moving up as well. So no need to trade both, pick one, which one was better. But ADCAD waiting for that daily close. Looks like it's breaking through this counter trend line here, and then if we can get a retest of that resistance here on the daily, hold it as support, then some good buys can be coming on, targeting 1, 2, and 3 up there. But still looking for those longs for AUCAD and Entity CAD, and see if we can get some nice opportunities there. AUSD, another pair, I think we'll go for some sells, but right now the market is a little bit too bullish, so not really involved yet. We do have this trend line here. If we connect those 3 wicks there, well 2 wicks anyway, 1, 2, it does line up with where we are right now. So the market does hold this, and I do see a move to the downside for AUSD, but do mind that we are seeing some AD and entity strength right now. So if it does move to the downside, it might move not very cleanly, because at this moment in time we're seeing strength in the US dollar and strength in the the Australian dollar as well. So if you've got 2 strong currencies, it might not move that well. You want one strong 1 week, or 1 weak and one strong for the pair to move that well. If they're both strong, it might have a hard time moving to the downside or up. So yeah, I think there's other pairs to trade that are better than AUSD or NZD for that matter. Like I said, pound USD, Euro USD do look good. USD CAD looks good as well, because again, it does look like the market is holding this support here, which potentially could be a higher low. So you can see on the hourly time frame, support here, nice bullish reaction, come back down, very strong bullish reaction, even stronger than that one. And like I said, a bit of retracement back to this area. If we can hold it, then some longs to the upside, back into this resistance up there, then maybe that resistance up there. But yeah, USD CAD looks good for buys. And like I said, on the DXY, we does look like we're going to get some strength in the US dollar. So if that does play out, then USD CAD should follow suitly back to the upside. So yeah, USD CAD looks good for some buys, back to highs, and expecting bit of a pullback and then the continuation, and then riding up to those highs there. So going to see how these pairs play out over the course of the week, today and tomorrow. Doing another live stream again tomorrow, so make sure you stick your bell notification on. 10 a.m. GMT to 12 p.m. GMT. Hopefully you'll see you guys there. And also Thursday as well this week. Well, Thursday from now on anyway. So make sure you go check that out as well. But thanks guys for joining the live stream. If you haven't already, join me on my Telegram channel. We left a link to that in the live chat. Also the description below, posting different trading setups there throughout the week, and you don't want to be missing out on that, so make sure you check that out. But thanks guys for watching the live stream, does mean a lot. Drop a like if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and thanks again for watching, and until the next one, I will see you guys later.